Coming up on Mountain News at 6, a man once convicted of killing 3 children in eastern Kentucky is now walking free.
And one Eastern Kentucky high school received some great news for their choir program.
And continuing to watch the potential for showers returning by the end of the work week. The details on that coming up as Mountain News at 6 starts now.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News at 6.
There are still several unanswered questions surrounding the murder of one Leslie County family 19 years ago.
But now the man who was once convicted of killing the 3 children that died that day is walking free. WYMT's Alyssa Williams has more.
43-year-old Clayton Jackson was released from the Jackson County Detention Center on Monday after a 2011 conviction of murdering 3 children and committing arson was overturned. Jackson was awaiting a retrial. In February of 2004, Chris and Amanda Sturgill and their 3 kids were found dead in their burned Leslie County mobile home. Jackson was arrested on the murders of the 3 children, but minimal evidence was present in court that connected Jackson to the murder of Chris and Amanda. The trial began in Leslie County, but was eventually moved to Clay County after a failed attempt to seat jurors. After being convicted of the crimes, the Kentucky Supreme Court overturned the verdict, saying one of the jurors should have been removed from the case before the original trial began. Now, more than a decade later, with no retrial in sight, Jackson has been released from the Jackson County Detention Center on Monday on an ROR bond. Jackson's ROR bond is an agreement that he will be back for trial and that he cannot be in Leslie or Clay counties or near the victims' families or witnesses. The bond did not require Jackson to put up any money or property to be released. In Leslie County, Alyssa Williams, WYMT Mountain News.
Although Jackson was released from the Jackson County Detention Center, the Clay County Detention Center was the one handling Jackson's case and release. Officials with the Clay County Detention Center declined to comment.
A woman is dead after she was attacked by a pack of dogs in MCCREARY County. The incident happened just before 2 a.m. this morning. Sheriff David Sampson says the attack happened outside a home on Slab Vanover Road, which is just west of Cumberland Falls. Authorities say the dogs did not belong to the woman. 4 of the dogs were captured by deputies, but there are still 2 at large. There are not any charges at this point, but the investigation is ongoing.
One person is dead following a 2-car crash in Floyd County. Prestonsburg police confirmed the death but have not released the name of the victim or any other information about the crash. It happened on US 23 near the hill where the old Holiday Inn sits near Prestonsburg. That part of US 23 was closed shortly after the crash early this morning but has since been reopened.
Another person is dead after a 2-car crash in Pulaski County yesterday. Somerset police say 48-year-old Belinda Ratliff of South Shore in Greenup County collided with a Honda CRV after her car crossed the center line. Ratliff was taken to the Lake Cumberland Regional Hospital in Somerset, where she later died. The crash happened on Kentucky 461. 78-year-old Adina Phillips of Winchester was the driver of the Honda CRV. Adina and the passenger, 73-year-old Francis Phillips, also of Winchester, were flown to UK Hospital in Lexington for treatment.
A Laurel County woman is facing charges after police say she led them on a high-speed chase in a stolen car. It happened just after 10 o'clock in the morning last Saturday on US 25 near London. London police responded to a report that the owners of a Chevy Cruze were following a woman they claimed had taken the car. When officers found the car, they say 25-year-old Stormy Maxey of London was already speeding and disregarding all traffic devices. Police tried to pull Maxey over, but say she tried to get away at speeds of up to 110 miles per hour at times during a chase. Maxey now faces 9 charges, including fleeing or evading police and speeding, among others. She was taken to the Laurel County Correctional Center.
Police are asking for your help to find a van stolen recently from a church in Jackson County. The Jackson County Sheriff's Office posted about the theft on Facebook. In the post, officials say the van was taken from Greyhawk Baptist Church parking lot last Friday. If you have any information about where the van may be, you are asked to contact the Sheriff's Office or State Police in Richmond.
Beautiful sunshine continues all throughout the region this evening, and it's looking pretty nice as we head into tonight as well. One more dry day on the docket before things start to change as we head toward the weekend. Current conditions from our Pikeville Medical Center camera, all sunny out there right now. Temperatures remain mild into the middle and upper 70s. Look at Grundy at 79. Harlan, good evening. You're at 80. It's warm out there, and even warmer temperatures expected as we head into the day tomorrow. Your forecast first through the next 12 hours. Yeah, well, those temperatures fall, but not a ton, only into the low 50s, though I do think some upper 40s and even mid 40s possible in those sheltered valley locations. Now, we have another warm day ahead tomorrow, but things start to change again as we head towards the end of the work week. The details on that in a few minutes. Steve?
Evan, thank you. As the community in Louisville continues to mourn the loss of 5 people after a mass shooting at a downtown bank, we're learning more about those who died.
The family of Juliana Farmer says she had just moved to Louisville to help her daughter with her 4 grandchildren. She had accepted the position at the bank just 3 weeks ago. Farmer's daughter, Aaliyah Chambers, says she never could have imagined this would happen to her mother. She says the family is still in disbelief.
I mean, that woman was phenomenal. She meant a lot to everyone. Didn't show no type of discrimination. She didn't care who you was. If you needed help, if you needed a shoulder to cry on, if you needed money, food, anything,
she's there.
My mama was there.
Chambers says her mother had a heart of gold. She says she is now focused on supporting her family. We will have more on a vigil tonight in Louisville for the victims at 11.
The gun used in that mass shooting in downtown Louisville could eventually be up for auction by the Kentucky State Police. The Richmond Police Department talked about the process, and they say they take things on a case-by-case basis. Kentucky law says state police receives firearms and ammunition confiscated by or abandoned by every law enforcement agency. If it is not used for official use, it will be sold at public auction, only to federally licensed firearms dealers.
If we are having to get rid of the firearms, all of our firearms that we have from cases and for auction, they all go to the Kentucky State Police. So when they go to the Kentucky State Police, the KSP will operate under their regulations for what can be auctioned. Again, if it's an evidence item, many times we do not send that to KSP unless it's going to be destroyed.
Hale says the Louisville Police Department might handle these situations differently, but for Richmond PD at least, when a case is closed and they hand over a murder weapon to KSP, they usually get a court order or put a note for the firearm to be
Republican candidate for governor Kelly Craft released a new statewide ad today called Woke. In it, she calls for Kentucky Department of Education to be dismantled. She also says it is time for Education Commissioner Jason Glass to go.
There are great folks in the Department of Education, but they've been silenced. They've been silenced by this woke commissioner that is appointed by the governor. We want to make certain that, on election day, that if Commissioner Glass does the right thing, he'll resign. If not, then on Inauguration Day, I'm going to do the right thing and fire him.
Kraft says we should be teaching our children the ABCs, not the CRTs, as in critical race theory. You can see the full interview with Kraft on Issues and Answers Monday night at 7 on WYMT.
Now, Kentucky Education Commissioner Jason Glass has responded to the latest Kraft ad. Glass told the Courier-Journal, quote, "Someone needs to tell Kelly Craft that the governor in Kentucky does not have the authority to dismantle the Department of Education." Glass said the department is focused on improving education in a fast-moving global economy, and he said Kentuckians should consider what effect, quote, attention-seeking politicians are having on what he called the educator workforce crisis.
Students and staff at Clay County High School recently received exciting news for their choir program. Both the concert and chamber choirs were invited to represent the state of Kentucky in performance at the 2024 D-Day 80th Commemoration Concert in Washington, D.C. The group has already started planning their music and fundraisers. I visited the choir room this morning to learn what their program is all about and how these students earned an opportunity like this.
One,
2, 3.
These are the voices that will be heard on the 80th anniversary of D-Day in Washington, D.C. next year. Student Bryce Madden says he is thrilled to not only represent the state, but also their hometown, Clay County, Kentucky.
It's an incredible opportunity that, honestly, given the area that we're in, I mean, Clay County, Kentucky isn't known for its musical departments and its arts. So to be able to get to go do something like this scale too, is really incredible.
And student Kylie Roberts says an opportunity like this is something she never thought was possible.
It's honestly something I never believed I would get to do, just because I never believed that we went from 5 students at the start when we first started, which was just a year ago, to getting to go to Washington, D.C. to represent our whole state.
Choir director Nick Hibbard says his students' passion for music is evident. And they are getting opportunities to sing across the country while still representing where they came from.
I reminded my kids just the other day that Chris Stapleton, an Eastern Kentucky man, was the one that sang the national anthem at the Super Bowl. So what we do here is not in vain. We're investing in the future of music in our country.
But most of all, he says he hopes invitations like this remind people the importance of the arts.
We often forget about our arts department. There's no side players. There's no bench warmers in band. There's no bench warmers in choir. There's none in theater. Everyone who is a part of this is on stage doing something.
Just like it's revealing to one of his students her purpose.
Choir has given me a sense of identity and confidence that I had never known before that. And you know, it's what I want to pursue in the future, and I think if it wasn't for Mr. Hibbard and the choir, I would have no idea.
Hibbard says they have already started fundraising and their goal is to raise $40,000 for the trip. He says they are doing fundraisers almost every month so the community can support them. The next one is a Broadway concert on May 11th. Admission is $10.
Coming up, some showers are on the way as we head toward the weekend. I'm tracking the latest trends, including these high pressures hightailing it on out of here in a few minutes. Plus,
one Eastern Kentucky nonprofit is trying to find a new place to operate as they have outgrown their current location.
WYMT News app offers alerts on